Hello, NWF Army. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. It's the end of the holiday season for us on the PowerPod this week as we head into our last event, 2022. The fight before Christmas is this Saturday. And, of course, joining me here on the PowerPod, our co-host, Wildcat Chris Harris. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello, Kirk Sheppard. Good to be back with you again.
Welcome back, as always. It's going to be a good night. Hey, how about them Bengals finally beating the Browns?
And, yeah, I mean, Kansas City was a big enough hurdle, but for us, the Browns are a hurdle because they've had our number. So
absolutely.
Yeah, big victory for that one.
Big event at Bone Crushers last Saturday night, of course, as we head into Covington this week. All your favorite stars were there, future stars were there. Check out the Bustin' Loose recap to keep you up to date. It's an exciting night there. We got a big show this evening. I mean, there's no reason to delay. I know he's itching to come on the broadcast, so let's go ahead and bring on our guest. He is facing, right now, Andrew Reed, this Saturday night in Covington. It is Joshua. Welcome to the program, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great, but I need to get something off my chest real quick.
Let's hear it.
If you guys are going to introduce me, we got to do this properly.
Oh, my God.
I am the greatest two-time Northern Wrestling Federation champion in history. I am the greatest golden ticket holder, and I am the greatest tag team champion of all time. And I am also the man who is 3-0 versus Andrew Reed. And after this Saturday in Covington, I'll be 4-0.
I think he would have something different to say about that. But we'll see.
He still can't beat me.
Fans can find out coming out this Saturday. Tickets are on sale, by the way, at NWFWrestling.com for that. So let's kind of go back in time and kind of revisit this whole big feud, if we can. You were tag team partners. And from my estimation, you got preoccupied with having Nikki Victory as your servant. He got tired of it. You punched him, and he punched you back and laid you out. And here we are now in a hot, heated program.
Okay. Time out. I was not preoccupied. Andrew Reed just couldn't pick up the slack. I've been the one who's been carrying this company on my shoulders week after week, month after month. And yeah, I did punch him in the face. He should not have stuck his nose in my business. I was handling a situation the way a man would handle it.
Oh my.
And then he wanted to stick his nose into my business, so I jacked his jaw. That's what he gets. And this is some big feud. Please tell me, when is he going to finally decide to show up, show out, and beat me? He still can't do it. And this Saturday, he's not going to do it again. Hate to disappoint all the fans.
Kat, did you hear him say he was handling things the way a man should?
It's kind of the opposite, isn't it?
I think that our female fans at least would have a whole different take on things. But, I mean, I don't want to get into that. Let's instead get into our rapid fire. All right.
Put him on the hot seat.
Yeah, what happens here, as you might know, is you get on the hot seat. I'll ask you a series of questions that I've come up with today. I decide if they're right or wrong based solely on my opinion because I have the buttons. If you're right, you get that.
Very fair.
It's not. It's completely one-sided and unfair, and I love it. Here's what happens if you're wrong, and here's the music.
You know, if you've watched the podcast and you've paid attention, you can almost kind of follow this pattern, so you know what to say, what not to say.
I don't know if
people are following that, Kirk. I'm not
sure. If people would watch the podcast, they would know, right? Anyway, we do start out with the same question every single time. Your favorite wrestler of all time?
Shawn Michaels.
I'll take that. Best Christmas present you've ever received?
A gym set. A couple dumbbells, working on a home gym. Best Christmas present I've ever received.
Anyone ever called you a dumbbell? Just wondering. Here's a question. The best female talent on the NWF roster?
Oh man. Probably Breezy. You know, she did beat Nikki Victory at Summer Sizzle. Do you guys remember that? Because I sure do.
I mean, Breezy's fine, but I can't believe you wouldn't pick Ella, the champ, or Nikki Victory, or Big Mama,
no.
or Riley Matthews.
You know he's not
Big
going
Mama's
with
up
Nikki
there.
Victory.
Definitely not Nikki Victory. She's actually the worst. I proved that. She can't hang with anybody.
Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Sure.
So much so
He's
that
probably never even seen it.
there's the advent calendar. He's falling down there. He's getting closer to the bottom. That's good. Good answer. Best wrestling finishing move of all time.
Tombstone pile driver.
Okay. What is your favorite Christmas movie?
Ooh. Probably Elf. Gotta go Elf.
I think it's The Grinch because you're so mean. Yes or
I
no?
call that a lot right now.
Yes or no? Didn't you get beat at least one time by Nikki Victory?
Do not recall that.
Name any NWF wrestler from the past that you would like to team up with.
Oh, from the past. Chad Too Bad.
I'll take that. Is there a current star in the NWF that you would like to go one-on-one with? Maybe somebody you've already faced, somebody you haven't faced yet? Anybody you want to wrestle?
Easy. Oh, that's easy. Star Rider. I'm going to take that championship from him after I'm done with Andrew Reed.
I'll take it. Finally, our final question. Who will win this Saturday night in Covington? Right now, Andrew Reed or Joshua?
Who's won the last 3 times?
Well,
The man who was made for this.
I think
Joshua.
he cheated, and I think it's his turn. But we'll see.
Hey, whose hand was raised?
Well,
As far as I'm concerned, it was mine. Cat, am I wrong? Has my hand been raised every single time?
I guess it has, but I...
3-0.
Your hand has been raised.
Well,
For now.
we'll find out. So, as long as your Wi-Fi hangs out and you stay on here, we're going to keep you on board for this way back today, and you can offer an opinion. But if we lose you, we're just going to go on without you, just so you know.
Hey.
Oh, but I haven't gotten to rip into him yet.
Well, you can do that off air. You can still watch it later if he ever watches it. But first, before we do the way back, I want to talk about our sponsor. Of course, Bone Crushers is the place to learn how to be a professional wrestler. If you're interested in becoming one, come on down on a Tuesday or Thursday around 6:30. Give us your $100 deposit. We will get you ready to go, signed up, and in the ring. Bring a photo ID down. We'll sign you'll sign a waiver, and we'll get you in the ring sooner than later. We'll teach you how to lock up, teach you the basics, and you may join the roster here of famous folks who've come out of Bone Crushers, including right there, sometimes AEW star Nikki Victory. She made the poster. I don't see Joshua on there.
Joshua.
In all seriousness,
Don't worry.
you are a graduate of Bone Crushers as well. What has Bone Crushers meant?
I'm the greatest.
Well, tell us what Bone Crushers has done for your career.
It gave me everything. Without Bone Crushers, there is no Joshua. It started me right May of 2016, if memory serves correct. So it taught me everything, basics from day one up until this point. It's made me the greatest Northern Wrestling Federation superstar in history, and is going to continue to make me the greatest of all time. And Bone Crushers are the place to be if you want to learn how to be a great professional wrestler.
Wildcat, you've been around a long time. Will you take any exception to him saying he's the greatest of all time in the NWF? I think that's a pretty long list ahead of him.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see his picture up on that graphic for one, so let's keep that in mind. But no, I think Joshua has really done well for himself. He came out of Bone Crushers, and he's been one of the ones that has gone on. And I mean, you can't take away. He's been 2-time NWF champion, so that's as high as you can go in our company. So yeah, he's making his rounds, and I just think a lot of it's coming to a head now. I mean, he's been the champion. He has been the top dog in the company for a long time. He was tag team champion, but I think now
Single-handedly tag team champion.
I think he's about to have his rear end handed to him.
Yeah. I think Andrew Reed's finally figuring it out and has had enough. And, you know, if it was fair and square every time, I think it would be a different story. Speaking of the top dog in the NWF, let's take a look back at some interesting classic footage here on the way back. So today's way back is a special one, celebrating the Northern Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship with 3 featured champions that are maybe one is forgotten, one is under-remembered, and one is making history in the next month. So let's take a look at this clip here from, first of all, two different matches. First one is from Wilmington, the Clinton County Fair, featuring the Boogie Woogie Man, handsome Jimmy Valiant, on his way to the ring to challenge for the NWF title against champion Dead Sexy Matt Parks, accompanied by Austin Medler. Now, this young man, I believe, won a raffle to become Jimmy Valiant's manager for the day. And that is Mike Doherty, who we lost just recently. We talked about him on the podcast. That man in the red shirt was the attorney in town who became a judge. Was a big supporter of the Northern Wrestling Federation, and we are still so sad and thinking about his family this Christmas season as they deal with the unexpected loss they suffered from him. But this is Jimmy at his best right here, Kat. This is what he would do. He'd come out, shake hands with everybody in the audience. Just the real deal.
We love handsome Jimmy Valiant. We love the Boogie Woogie Man. He was always a favorite of the NWF, and we loved anytime he was able to come around to us.
So here he is with Mike.
He was always hanging out with the fans.
And always entertaining. Yeah, he always was doing stuff that was wild and crazy out there. Of course, Jimmy Valiant, a very famous star in the NWA and in the Mid-Atlantic region, all over in Memphis, all over the territories. I don't know how much, I can't ever tell the sound balance. If you guys at home can hear the voice of Slick Rick and Roger Ruff in here, but that's referee Nate Pelly with the title.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's Dead Sexy Matt Parks, who is the NWF champion, and he's going to lock up here with Jimmy. Now, Jimmy is such a great
move right there.
Well, it's he's attacking a legend here and treating him poorly. Jimmy was such a legend that I watched him sell videotapes to a blind man once. And he also had a kid come down to our autograph signing and bought a bunch of stuff off of his table, some masks and some other souvenirs. And about an hour later, the kid's mom came down to the table, mad as a hornet. And before she left, Jimmy sold her 2 more masks and a bunch more autographs because he was that good at just winning the people over. Now, wait a minute. Here's the other guy we're talking about, Chad Too Bad Allegra, who was good friends with Dead Sexy, and it didn't work out.
He's always up to no good.
Jimmy Valiant takes his right hand there and goes for the cover and becomes NWF Champion. This is on a Friday night.
Wow.
He's got the belt.
You say this is the one that's forgotten?
This is I think Matt Parks is forgotten. Jimmy Valiant is under-remembered. I don't think people will remember he was a champ. Here comes the roster out to celebrate. And the history-making champ is going to be his opponent the next night. So Saturday night, after this was on a Friday, the NWF returned to Fairfield, the UAW Hall, our home for many years. And Jimmy defended his title against Chad Too Bad Allegra, who, of course, has gone on to become Carl Anderson. Big news this week in wrestling, as Carl Anderson is going to be the first WWE contracted wrestler to ever wrestle for New Japan Pro Wrestling at Wrestle Kingdom, as he defends his never heavyweight title. It's a big deal, and we are very proud in the NWF to say he's homegrown right here, a Bone Crushers graduate. He's challenging Jimmy Valiant here on Saturday night at the UAW Hall, and once again, Jimmy, managed by his raffle-winning manager, shaking hands, kissing babies. Joshua, have you ever seen the Boogie Woogie Man?
I cannot say that I have. This is one of my first experiences.
The clips of him here, he's an older man, and he's lost a lot of weight, but he certainly, when he was in his prime, was a lot thicker and was a real go-getter, real brawler. Had some great feuds with
see that right there, that was shit.
Brickhouse Brown.
That is an
Paul
illegal
Jones.
maneuver right there.
He always
Also by his side was his brother Johnny.
That's right. The Valiant brothers were very prominent, and that was his first kind of flirt with fame, was in the WWF with his brother up there in the north. I think he also teamed at one point with maybe with beautiful Bobby Harmon. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I think they had some connection. Valiant on fire here. He is up, and despite the chain by Chad Too Bad, Jimmy is defending his title well.
He always had fire.
He goes back to that chain, and unfortunately, referee gets knocked down and hits him in the back of the head. And I think that's going to be it. And this will be Carl Anderson, Chad Too Bad Allegra's first NWF title reign right here.
Oh, this is his first one, huh?
Which
That's
then
where you're
led
supposed to win.
to a series of matches between him and Dead Sexy Matt Parks, and then eventually led to Carl Anderson becoming internationally famous. So, thought it'd be a fun way back to celebrate some history of the NWF title with a couple famous folks.
I get to run into Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant.
Yeah.
I get to run into him a lot at conventions, so
He's
it's really good to see him.
Still out
He's
there.
always asking about Roger.
I bet. Probably still wants to get booked. He's out there on the circuit.
He's already done about 10 farewell tours.
I know, and he's starting. I think he's starting his own TV program at his gym there in Virginia. I saw something on Facebook that they're getting ready to start their own TV show. So they're going to start recording some wrestling matches at his school there.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that the other day. He's still got it, man, and he's not a young man. I don't want to give away his age, but I think at least probably in 7 decades in life soon, which is pretty big. All right, this Saturday we are going to be in Covington. It's the Fight Before Christmas, headlined by Star Rider defending against James Cross. I believe this time Bones is barred from ringside. It's a good call. If that was a Wildcat call or not.
Good call.
Also on the card, of course, we're going to see Joshua and right now Andrew Reed, where Andrew Reed finally gets his revenge. That's my prediction.
Oh, come on.
That's my hope. We also have the girls in action. Riley Matthews and Nikki Victory once again in a rematch. They are 1-for-1. So we're going to see what happens this week. What else we got on the card, Kat?
Well, if you've been paying attention to Bustin' Loose and what happened this past Saturday night, there's a lot going down between Pompano Joe and Sean Evans.
Oh, yeah.
And we were supposed to have a rematch this past weekend, but Sean Evans was injured in Ludlow.
Right.
Was unable to compete.
Right.
Concussion protocol.
Which we talked about briefly last week here, yeah.
Yeah, we talked to him last week, and I know they were both looking to get hands on each other, but that didn't go down. But what did go down was a lot of heat with them two. They were really trying to get their hands on each other. So I say that to tell you that this Saturday night, I'm not sure if Sean Evans will be in action, but Pompano Joe will take on his partner, Titan.
Okay. We will be there to see that one.
See how that
that'll be
see
great.
where that goes.
All right.
We also have Christopher Michael Lotus taking on the SOB.
Okay.
Sinclair.
That'll be a good one.
Interesting match there. I also want to let everybody know that the Eds will be.
I saw that today. We saw the picture posted on Facebook this week. So
so the Eds will be returning. They're a crowd favorite.
Will they have Bucket with them?
Do they ever not have Bucket with them?
I can't imagine they didn't, but you know.
I mean, if they're not carrying him, you can bet that he's underneath the ring somewhere.
Right.
So, the Eds and Bucket will be in Covington.
All right. Good.
And we are still in a standstill right now as far as the Women's Revolution champion because of what happened in Ludlow by Savannah. Savannah, a very nasty attack on our champion. So we'll see what happens, but hopefully something goes down this Saturday in Covington with that too. So lots of action, lots of different, a lot of stories going on. So
tickets available on the line at NWFWrestling.com. Of course, you'll get tickets at the door for our big New Year's Day show. That's the Collision Course 4. That's a 3 p.m. afternoon bell time on New Year's Day. You'll see the Future Stars take on the NWF current roster, and that'll be a good one. And then, of course, Mount Orb returns. We return there January the 7th with another big card coming up as well. All that can be found at NWFWrestling.com. I believe we have lost Joshua, which is fine. I've kind of had enough of him anyway. He was sort of getting on my nerves. But I know he
That's
would
too bad. I
probably
really wanted
tell Andrew Reed one more time how he was going to beat him again. But he leaves out how he's going to cheat. He leaves out that he's going to not play by the rules. He leaves out all that part.
Yeah, this whole feud it's actually kind of reminded me of something that hits close to home. I mean, I know a little bit about having tag team success and
Yeah.
kind of the partners splitting and having to deal with the repercussions from that. And I think that Joshua is I think Joshua is seeing. I think we're all seeing just a new. Oh, there he is. Good. I get to tell it to his face.
Tell me what's my face.
No, I just think we're seeing a whole new Andrew Reed. I think his days in the Future Stars, it was a learning process, and he was really getting into himself. And then even as a tag with somebody like Joshua, I mean, I have to give him credit. He probably did learn a lot from Joshua and
learn how to be a winner.
Got into his own. But you know what, though? If I remember, you took the first shot, and I think you're going to regret that because I think once Andrew Reed gets a hold of you, it's obvious that the matches, the way you've gained your victories. I mean, it's obvious that we may have to get to the point where we just throw the rules out the window and have you guys go at it. And I think we're going to see a different result if that ever happens.
You don't want to do that to him. You don't want to do that to him. You do that to him, you guys are going to be hurting his career so much worse than it needs to be. Listen, after this Saturday, I'm moving on to bigger and better things. Andrew Reed is beneath me. He always has been, always will be. He can't touch me in that ring. I am the greatest. I back it up each and every single time I'm in that ring. So this Saturday, after I beat him for the fourth time, Captain, you're going to have a talk. Because I think I'm going to be priming and getting ready to go for that NWF Heavyweight Championship again. Because I'm going to become a 3-time world champion.
I think looking past your opponent this weekend is a very bad idea. I would not recommend that.
I've already beaten him 3 times. What am I looking past?
We'll see. Fans, you don't want to miss it. Come out this Saturday night to Covington. It's HITS Indoor Sports Complex. NWFWrestling.com is where you can find tickets. More information, including Bustin' Loose and all the PowerPod episodes. We're going to take next week off from the PowerPod and celebrate Christmas with our families. But we will see you again here soon. And, we'll see you on Saturday night. Covington, the fight before Christmas. It's on.
Merry Christmas, everybody.